Simon from simonwoods.com here. I've got 8 clarets, 8 red Bordeaux to taste, so I'm going to split it over 2 videos. And first 5 I'm going to do are from, well, they're from different appellations. What they have in common is these 5 are based, the dominant grape variety is Merlot. The next 3, I think the dominant grape variety is Cabernet Sauvignon. That's the theory. Let's see how we work out. First one, Chateau Maine Grave, Bordeaux Supérieur 2007. Maine Grave, does that mean it's from the appellation of Grave? No. Bordeaux Supérieur, does that mean it's superior to other wines? No. Bordeaux can be exceptionally confusing. Superior with Bordeaux just means it's got a higher degree of alcohol than basic Bordeaux. And Grave, well, there's quite a few places around Bordeaux that have got gravel soils. Let's see whether this is one where the character of the gravel comes through. So 2007 vintage. Smells like just the price I think of these varies from about like £8 up to 12 quid, and it smells like what I expect at that level. There's a slightly earthy red, slightly red fruit, red currants, but mostly black currants and cedar character coming through. It smells like it's going to be young, it smells like it's going to be refreshing, it smells like it's not going to be incredibly complex, but it's going to be a good Sunday lunch roast meat type of wine. It's fair enough wine. Not huge depth, a bit of vanilla character coming through from somewhere, probably from an oak barrel, but it's not dominated by new oak at all. There's probably a very small percentage of new oak there. Not very long. The wine's in there, it sort of goes, hello, here I am, and then flits away, and you think, oh, I need another taste or another bit of roast lamb, but not great wine, but honest wine. Let's move on to the first of 3 2006s. Chateau Marteret, another Bordeaux Supérieur, from Thomas et Jérémy Lurton. I'm sure I read somewhere that one of them was related to Pierre Lurton, who's the guy who does Cheval Blanc and Yquem and other minor properties like that. Now this smells, yeah, it's a year older. It smells like it's got a bit more backbone than the first one. It smells like it's going to be a slightly more intense wine, better wine maybe. Let's have a see. The fruit certainly has that slight more ripeness to it. Does that make it a better wine because it's riper? Depends on your preference. It's like people's body size. I mean, you can see me. I'm a size 0 really. Does that make me different from Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is, well, big? Up to you. It's certainly got a more sweeter, gentler presence than the first one. If I have anything against it, the finish is just slightly dry. I don't mind that too much. I mean, I'm tasting these wines. These aren't wines that you're supposed to just have by themselves. It's not what I call Desperate Housewives set of wine, these. If you want something that's smooth and gentle, this Bordeaux really isn't the place to go for red wine. But I like that that bit of cedar. I think that maybe they've just tried a little bit too hard getting the flavours out and done a little bit too much pressing. Got some slight bitterness coming through in the tannins, but with a bit of roast lamb, wouldn't be surprised if that works really nicely. I just about prefer it to the first one. Next one, Chateau Au Cabut from Premier Côte de Blaye. And, oh golly, my Bordeaux geography is not great. If I remember correctly, Côte de Blaye is almost, they're the vineyards almost opposite the sexy vineyards in the Medoc. And if that's wrong, I'll edit it out of the video. Anyway, 2006. Now this smells more fragrant and more smoky, and it smells a bit more alluring and sexy than the ones, the 2 that have gone before. It smells like it's got a bit more personality, a bit more vineyard. Yes, probably is a bit more new oak here. There's that slightly smoky, toasted edge of new oak, but they've handled it really nicely here. It's not dominating the wine. It's just adding this sheen. Yeah, I like that. Not complex, but everything there does what it should do. The oak adds a bit of structure. The actual tannins in the wine provide a little bit more earthy gravitas, but then there's this quite fleshy, almost plummy berry fruit to add some juiciness and sex appeal. It factor. Let's find last 2006 Chateau Rigaud from Puisseguin Saint-Emilion. Puisseguin Saint-Emilion is one of what they call the Saint-Emilion satellites. There's the appellation of Saint-Emilion, and then there's a load of little places around it. Saint-Georges Saint-Emilion, Montagne Saint-Emilion, Puisseguin Saint-Emilion, and the idea is that they have a little bit in common with the more senior relative. The best vineyards are probably as good as some of the Saint-Emilion vineyards. The worst ones hanging on the coattails a bit. Let's see which the camp this falls into. Well, one of the characteristics I smell here, there's, I don't know if you know what Brettanomyces is. Brettanomyces is a characteristic that comes through, it's a yeast-related infection. It's not thrush, it's not wine thrush, but it's a character that often you get it in wines where the winemaking has not been quite as clean as it could be. And how it comes across here is like there's a warm, almost horse blanket type of smell. This is a sort of wine, when I taste it, I imagine there's going to be a slightly raisiny fruit and then quite a dry finish. But a little bit of it in a wine can be very nice. Too much of it, and it just strips the pleasure away from a wine. So, be very interested to see how this finishes. But that's one of the first things I smell. It's got this slightly plummy, but again this raisin edge coming through. Yeah, it's nice to start with, and then the finish just gets drier and drier, and you're left with something that's really quite astringent and not hugely pleasurable. So that for me is a no-no. I'm going to rinse my glass before I put the next one in. Okay, Corny & Barrow, Company Reserve, 2005, Bordeaux. Got enough words on the label there, and bottled by Estates Jean-Pierre Moueix. Moueix is the family that owns Petrus and some of those sexy Pomerol and Pomerol Chateau. So oldest wine here, 2005, a terrific vintage. Basic Bordeaux. Should it have been drunk by now? Well, it still feels like there's quite a lot of freshness to the fruit here, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm in two minds here. I'll be interested to see what this tastes like. It's hanging in there. No future ahead of this really. Get it in the next 6 months, and you'll enjoy this dry character. And it's not the dryness, that raisiny edge that you're getting from the Brett affected one before. It's the slightly dry tannins, a bit of oak tannin there, a lot of fruit tannin. It feels like the fruit has lost a bit of that freshness. I would have loved to have seen this a couple of years ago. I think it would have been far better then. But fair enough wine. My favourite of these is the Côte de Blaye. But this is what Bordeaux does at this price level. It's not remarkable, and sometimes I wish that they'd actually have a look at what's made in other parts of the world and decide, do I really want to make these wines, or do I want to concentrate on something, on my sexier offerings? I know some friends of mine, I'd introduce them to these, and not many of them would have an incentive to trade higher up. That's Bordeaux for you.